Okay, good afternoon. Today I am talking to John Hughes, who is a trustee, an English solicitor, and an experienced notary who I've known for many years. And we're going to be talking about the role of a trustee and what a trustee does. So, how are you, John?
I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are. Um, yes, very happy to discuss this. As you say, I've been a trustee or director of a trustee company for many years. I've been involved with Timeshare since the early 1990s, when I was in-house lawyer for a bank that lent money to timeshare developers, involved with recovering money from timeshare developers, and got involved with trust work at that stage. So yeah, a very experienced, as indeed you are, Alex. You've been involved in timeshare for a number of
Sure,
years as well.
sure. But today it's all about you, John.
Right. Okay.
So how did you get involved? uh, how did you become a trustee, John? What triggered that? What prompted that?
Well, when I ceased to be giving legal advice to the bank, I was approached by owner controlled timeshare resorts to see if I could act as trustee for them, and I did agree, and I've been involved with mainly owner controlled clubs since then. That means that's where the timeshare developer has really done his job, has fully developed the timeshare resort and has handed it over to the owners through a committee. And the idea really of the trustee is to ring fence the assets of the club so that in the event of the originally when the developer is setting it up, the developer experiencing financial difficulties or possible litigation claims, or if the management company experienced financial difficulties, the owners of the timeshare were reassured that the actual bricks and mortar, the apartments, were in a separate non-trading trust company and is therefore ring-fenced and protected from claims from creditors. Um, so it was given my background in acting for banks and dealing with, if you like, defaulting timeshare developers, that experience, I think, helped me in my role as trustee for those clubs where the timeshare developer had moved on and has handed it over to members.
Okay, and now, John, obviously, we're partners and directors of Resort Trustees Limited, um, and we've got timeshare resorts and developments under trust, under the Resort Trustees Limited brand. Can you just talk to the viewers about the role of the trustee and what we actually do?
Yeah, well, good question, and it's something I'm asked quite a lot by sort of members of timeshare clubs. They just see in the annual accounts fees paid to a trustee, and they don't quite see what the point of that is. And I have spent some time trying to explain it, and it is a valuable role. The idea was, as I just said, was to ring fence the assets of the club so that it's owned by a non-trading trust company, which wouldn't incur any debts, and therefore, there would be no claim against the assets from third-party creditors. But there is an additional role as well, and that is the trustee is there to protect the interests of the members. So, in the very unlikely position of maybe the committee not actually acting in accordance with the wishes of the ordinary members, then the trustee's role is to be on the side, if I can put it so crudely, of the members, and the trust company would then seek guidance from the members as to what action should be taken. I mean, it is highly unlikely that that should happen because obviously the committee are democratically elected by the members, but I have been involved with a situation where that happened, where we had a renegade committee acting not in accordance with the wishes of the majority of the members, and the trust company was then stepped in and took action to protect the interests of the members. So it's a dual role, really: protect the assets of the timeshare club and also to protect the interests of the wider membership. It is not there to at the beck and call of the elected committee. But in most cases, the committee, if they are representing owners, we would take instructions from the committee. It's only if we felt that the interest of the members was being prejudiced would we take action to seek direct guidance from the members.
Sure. And generally speaking, John, what kind of for the kind of lay person watching this, who can be a trustee?
Well, there is a requirement that a trustee has a fiduciary, a trust relationship with its members or those it represents. And that means that it needs to either be, historically, it's been a bank or lawyers or accountants. So it's, those with a experience of acting in a fiduciary way. Um, and what is important to know is that if a trust company decides to resign as trustee, they're under an obligation to ensure that the succeeding trustee is also someone who ticks those boxes, that is also someone with a appropriate professional qualification or a trust company or a bank. Um, that's
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And John, I think some people erroneously believe that the trustee actually ends up owning the assets. Is that right, or is that wrong?
Well, no, it legally owns them, but it doesn't beneficially, and that's a important distinction. I mean, the best way of putting it is if the assets of the club are sold, then the sale proceeds go to the members, not to the trustee. I mean, trustee may handle them in the first place, but is under an obligation to distribute the sale proceeds after payment of all the costs to the members. So that in that sense, members do beneficially own the assets, but the legal ownership is with the trust. And as I say, the trust is legally obliged to hand over the sale proceeds to the members who are the beneficial owners.
And generally speaking, John, we've talked about assets, bricks and mortar. What else could be included in the trust?
Well, what can be included are the common parts. That's like the swimming pool, the restaurant, office facilities. I mean, the whole uh, complex of a timeshare resort would be included in the trust. So that, again, it goes back to this principle to ring fence so that a creditor can't suddenly move in and take control of, the restaurant or the swimming pool or the common facilities, and that's that. And that's the reason why you have this ring fencing, that all those parts of a trust of a timeshare complex would be included in the trust or should be included.
And what about disposals? If could a trustee mortgage the assets without the committee or the owners knowing, or could they
No, no,
sell
no,
the asset?
no.
Could they sell the assets off?
No, not without the consent of the owners. That would be set out in the constitution, but that is quite clearly set out that the trustee cannot unilaterally take action like that. Um, So no, it can't mortgage or charge. There's usually a specific restriction against the trustee being able to do that.
Okay. And John, can you typically, between the clubs and the club's members and the trustee, there'll be a deed of trust in place. And what kind of reasonable terms would you expect to see in that trust deed, for example?
Well, it would include the obligation on the trustee to not to mortgage or charge the assets contained in the trust. Um, there's usually indemnity in favour of the trustee in respect of costs. For example, if there's a legal dispute about the title, the trustee would take action to protect those assets, but would need to look to the club for an indemnity to cover those costs. Um, and in the event of a sale of um, the apartments, that would only be happen if 75%, normally 75% of members vote in favour, as set out in the Constitution. And that is only when the ability for the trustee to sell will be triggered. And there is usually not, well, invariably, it's an obligation on the trustee to pay out the sale proceeds after payment of costs to the members who were members as at the date of the winding up of the club.
Okay. And John, so you've been a trustee for quite some years now.
Hmm.
Um, do you enjoy the position?
Yeah, mostly, yes. What is not so enjoyable is if there is a dispute. If you've got some members who are not happy either with the committee or the committee are not happy with the members, you have to step in and try and resolve those problems. Happily, not very often that occurs. But yes, I mean, you're dealing with uh, sort of apartments which are used for holidays, and holidays are meant to be enjoyable, and that is really the purpose of the trust, is to ensure that members can enjoy all the facilities of the club without worrying too much about claims from third parties, but they go there to enjoy their holiday, knowing that the assets of the club are in safe hands, and so they can relax and enjoy themselves, which is obviously the whole point of the timeshare that they're members of.
Absolutely. So they're trusting the assets with us, Resort Trustees Limited, whilst they enjoy their holidays, John.
Exactly. We take away, hopefully, any concerns that they may have about the viability of the timeshare, so they can enjoy their holiday without any worries, which is clearly what should be the case. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else to add, John?
Not really. No, we're very happy to take on more clubs. We enjoy the work, and the more the merrier. I should add that, of course, we're talking about timeshare resorts in Spain, Portugal, France, and the UK, and there are local laws which need to be complied with. But yeah, we're here for the long term. I mean, I would also say that the US have certainly different laws applying to timeshare, and so the role of trustee there is slightly different. But yeah, all are welcome, and we're very happy to take on more timeshare clubs. The more the merrier. We're very happy to do that.
John Hughes, English solicitor, notary, and director of Resort Trustees Limited. Thank you for your time.
Right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much.